Good dag, welcome back to CFC TV. This is sort of a one day after reaction video to what happened yesterday, obviously the sacking of Jose Mourinho. As you could clearly see in my video yesterday, I was completely distraught. I was heartbroken yesterday because I think that man is part of Chelsea Football Club, and I think he should be part of Chelsea Football Club for a much longer time than he was. But obviously I've had time to process everything now, and if you think about it, it was quite obvious that some of the players weren't really doing it at this moment in time, and we don't exactly know if that was because of Jose or not. But if it was for Jose, if we're being honest and serious, it was the only possible way to sort it out, because we were never gonna get rid of 8 players or however many players we would have needed to get rid of, like Hazard, Costa, possibly Oscar, possibly Fabregas, even though I don't think Fabregas is part of that. I don't know, possibly Matic, I have no idea, and maybe some other players that are on the bench like Falcao, like Remy, who's obviously not happy with not being played. That was never going to happen, especially not in January. And if it was to go on like this for the rest of the season, who knows where we would have finished. And if you think about it that way, the only solution was to bring in a new manager. I've just heard that Gus Hiddink apparently said he's not going to sign a deal until he knows exactly why the players didn't play for Mourinho anymore, or what exactly the problem was and what players were involved, which I think is a very, very good approach, because he wants to take this seriously, not just, well, I'm only here for 6 months, who cares. Because I think it's really good that the new manager wants to know that, because he obviously has respect for Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho is the best manager in the world at this moment in time, and most managers do know that. And I think it's a very good move by Hiddink that he just doesn't let those players get away with it just because they made Chelsea get rid of Mourinho. That they think, life is going to be good again now, which I think is very good. But yeah, it was basically the only solution we had left, and as much as it hurts me, we have to move on. There is no other. We don't have another chance than moving on from this. Because we're a football club, we're not a manager's club. I think Jose Mourinho is maybe behind John Terry, or on one level with John Terry, the most loved man at this club. So it's obviously hard for us fans to get rid of him, and I do feel a little bit betrayed by the board that they just decided this like this, because what I think is really disrespectful is that they sacked him on Thursday afternoon. They had a board meeting, as far as I know they had it on Monday night after the Leicester game, which lasted for 9 hours. So, okay, maybe you don't sack him on Tuesday, but why can't you sack him on Wednesday morning? And if you don't sack him on Wednesday, why don't you sack him on Thursday morning, but let him be in charge of training that yesterday, and then have lunch with him, like sort of Christmas lunch or whatever it was, and after that, in 10-minute meeting, get rid of him. I think that is very disrespectful considering what he's done for this club. And maybe Jose has agreed to this, that the club can, sort of announce that they have parted ways on mutual terms, but we all know that that's bullshit. A lot of media have been saying that he was absolutely distraught after hearing the news. He apparently left Cobham crying. He obviously pulled his hood over his face so nobody could see, which is a good indicator, because if he's not crying, if he's just sitting there, Jose's been in the press plenty of times, so why would he care about that? He's obviously not on drugs like some other stars, or drunk was some other like celebrities are, that sometimes cover their faces when they on cars or whatever. So I don't know why he would have covered his face if he wasn't crying, which hurts me a lot, I'm not gonna lie, because I don't think he deserves that. as I know I've just said it was the only solution, but still I would have given him until, I don't know, after the transfer window, like 2 games after the transfer window. And if it wouldn't have turned around by then I would have sacked him. I know it would have been even tougher to get up the table with the new manager by then, but I think we should have given him the time to rebuild the squad in how he wants it, and well, obviously in such a way that it's possible in January. But still, because what is, if it's Gus Hiddink, I hope it's Gus Hiddink or whoever else it is, how much money are we gonna give an interim manager to spend? Because I just thought about it and I can't remember how many players Benitez, or if he signed anybody in January, because obviously he got brought in before the transfer window as well. I think, anyways, I might be wrong here, but I think he got brought in after we got knocked out of the Champions League group stages, if I'm correct. But I don't know, and we clearly do need new players. So I don't know. Wouldn't it have been better to stick with Jose? Let's see what he does, and if it doesn't work, then let an interim manager work with what we've got, and not try to build new things at our club, which is a bit, it's difficult, not just for him but also for the club. Do we let it happen? Do we not? And who do we get in the summer, and will he be happy with the players that the interim managers just signed? Obviously there's been talk about Guardiola. Ancelotti basically ruled himself out of the Chelsea job, and he's most likely going to Bayern Munich in the summer, because Guardiola will most likely leave them in the summer. So Guardiola has 3 chances: Man United, Man City and Chelsea. And I do believe, as I said yesterday, that Jose Mourinho will take over at Manchester United, not in the far future. I think it will happen quite soon, because Van Gaal isn't doing really well. And now that they have the possibility, Man United might react quicker than everybody thinks to get him in. So we're left with City and Chelsea, and apparently Guardiola has offers from both clubs on the table, and we have made him a much better offer financially than Man City have. Obviously Man City can still improve their offer, but he's probably the next best manager in the world. I know he's gone to Bayern Munich and was probably one of the easiest jobs he could have taken, because there was a already made team. He took over a treble winning team and didn't win the treble the year after. Just saying. But still, he's a good manager. We all know that he plays lovely football. And the other manager that is being talked about is Diego Simeone from Atletico Madrid. I'm not sure if he will leave Atletico Madrid, because he seems very loyal to them, but maybe he will. I wouldn't mind him. I think he's a character, which is really good, which I think is something Chelsea needs. He's a little bit like Mourinho, especially like Mourinho was when he was younger. And I think it would also be good for players like Costa, because he's played with him before. And if players wouldn't play for him, Diego Simeone wouldn't be having it. Diego Simeone would slap the shit out of them, which is not something Jose Mourinho does. Jose Mourinho works with words. But if the players just sort of try to be bigger than the manager, it's difficult. But yeah, I would take either Guardiola or Simeone in the summer. They're both no Jose Mourinho to Chelsea, and I don't think any of them are as good as Jose Mourinho, but they're probably the next best thing, maybe including Ancelotti. But as I said, he ruled himself out. He's probably going to Bayern Munich. Obviously, Jose could also end up at PSG, but we don't know that. But I have a feeling that he will end up at Man United. Yeah. Another thing I want to talk about is I found it really disrespectful by the club that they put out a video by Emenalo, especially Emenalo. Like, what is that about? Emenalo was the one that sort of started destroying Mourinho this season, because he's the man that deals with our transfers dealings basically. And he didn't get John Stones in. He didn't get Paul Pogba in. Apparently we were after Griezmann and Bale. One of the two, I don't know. Obviously those except Stones, are very high set targets. But still, if Jose's not in charge, it's that guy's job to sort of get those players in, and he didn't. And I'm pretty sure if we would have gotten those players in, we would have been in a much better position in the league at this moment in time. Excuse me. And to put out a video by exactly him, and Emenalo not even mentioning Jose's name, Not Mr. Mourinho. Not even Mr. Mourinho, just the individual. Like, what the fuck are you on about? What the fuck is that? Like, Jose Mourinho is one of the biggest figures that has ever been at this club. With John Terry, Frank Lampard, Didier Drogba, Gianfranco Zola. Probably those four are on the same level. Maybe a little bit higher than Jose Mourinho is. But you're Emanalo. You're fucking Emanalo. Nobody likes you. Everybody now, anyways, hates you. And I just don't get it. And I think that is disgraceful by the club. Like, you could have made a video by Steve Holland, or nobody would have been better than Emanalo anyways. And I do not understand how Emanalo can keep his job, because he was supposed to sign 3 or 4 players, signed none of them. That seems worse than what Jose did, not gonna lie. And instead he got Papi Djilobodji and Hector from Reading and will only back up. I mean, signing a 25-year-old defender from Championship team. Like, if he's 18 or 19, alright, I can accept that. Maybe he's a fantastic prospect. Well, he's 25. And Papi Djilobodji is 26 or 27. Why would we sign those players? Another thing that happens after Jose Mourinho has been sacked, he sort of declined the money that he was basically should have received because they sacked him during his contract. That would have been £37 million as far as I know, and he sort of said use it to rebuild the club. Apparently he will be paid until the end of the season, or until he finds a new job earlier than that, which will be 10 million years for the whole year. So and still, like, about 30 million would still, like, stay at the club, which he would have been, like, due to get, which I think is a class act by him, because obviously he does have enough money, and you know, it's makes it more difficult for financial fair play as well. We're not going to get Champions League, 40 million spent on getting rid of Jose, and you know, even more difficult for us to sign players. So I think it's a very nice gesture from him to do that. And yeah, I'm not sure if I left anything out, but those are basically my thoughts. As I said, we have to move on now. As much as it hurts, as much as we would have loved Jose to still be here, we have to move on. We have to support whoever comes in, except if it's Brendan Rodgers or Jorge Mendes or whatever his name. No, or Jorge around. I forgot his name. The former Spurs guy that's called Ramos in his surname. If we get that guy in, I'm gonna be furious. Like, what the hell? We might as well put John Terry as player manager, or just make Steve Holland permanent, or like interim first team manager. Like, before we get that cunt in. Like, what's the point in that? Someone that failed at Spurs to rescue Chelsea. Like, what the hell? So yeah, I'm pretty sure that the atmosphere tomorrow in the stadium will be a little bit toxic. Players might get booed, especially players like Hazard if he's fit, because I think I said that yesterday as well. It's very suspicious that he has to come off on Monday and be available to play and start on Saturday. That would be very weird and strange. But I think some players might get booed. I think there will be huge Jose Mourinho chance. There will be stand up for the special one chance, and I do hope that he hears that, because he said it before that he feels a little bit embarrassed by the support that he's getting, because he doesn't know how to deal with it, because he doesn't deserve it in his opinion, and that he feels blessed by the support that we've given him, and I think he will watch the game, and I think he has to hear how much we love him, and how much we miss him, and how much we wanted him to stay, and that we're fully behind him, and that we will always be behind him. Like, for me personally, even if he goes to Man United, I would, because we're not gonna win the league anyway. So I would find it quite funny and sort of a slap in the face of the board if United appointed Mourinho and he won them the league. It would be kind of funny, not gonna lie. And when I hate Man United, it would still be funny. So yeah, that was everything I had to say today. I will see you for a review after tomorrow's game. I can't really do a preview at the moment because I don't even know who's manager. I don't know who will play. If it's Steve Holland, I don't know. I have no idea who will play. I have no idea how we'll play. We'll probably win the game. I'm not sure if we will win it convincingly, but we'll probably win it. Probably not even play badly. But yeah, that was it from me. Keep the blue flag flying high. Leave everything else you have to say in the comments below. Subscribe to me if you haven't already. And yeah, see you guys tomorrow.